All right, hello Eagles, and welcome to another vlog. This week it's Hunter, and I am sitting with Jacob Schimmel. He is the student body president. And Jacob, thanks so much for sitting down with us and telling us a little bit about the Student Association.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So first thing I wanted to ask you is just kind of what do you do as the student body president?
Mm-hmm. Well, I would say it's definitely a broad occupation of sorts.
Sure.
It's a great thing to be able to represent students, and that's really what it's about in a broad sense. And so my days can consist of a lot of meetings with administrators or even state officials if we're working on state-related issues and politics, or even federal stuff. Okay. So really whatever students are facing as issues during that day or that week, that's really what I'm doing. You know, it's a great position to be able to have, because you're dealing with issues that are coming your way, but you can also address things that you want to make changes on the campus with. And so that's really what it's about. But it's a busy day with meetings typically, and so again, it's just a great thing to do.
Yeah, so like kind of give us a little bit about a day in the life of the student body president. What does your day usually look like with school, but then also obviously your work as the president?
I would say I get up relatively early in the morning. I try to get here relatively early in the morning because there's usually some sort of meeting that's happening. So for example, I might be meeting with Greg over in the foundation to go over scholarship related matters. So maybe we might be doing a new scholarship on the campus, and so I'm playing a role in how that scholarship might look. Or I might be meeting with the chancellor on a particular day, and we might be going over a whole host of things related to diversity efforts that we're trying to do from the student end of things, as well as what's going on at the state level. So I wouldn't say that there's it's not a particularly defined day that I have. It could be anything, but it's again usually a lot of meetings. You know, and every Wednesday we also have the Senate meetings as well. So you can catch me in here from 6 o'clock to like 9 o'clock on a Wednesday, and we're deliberating on a whole host of things here as students.
Gotcha. Perfect. So obviously there's the president, but then there's a bunch of different positions, I guess, in the Student Senate or Student Association. So what are those roles? What are some of those roles that students have?
So we have a legislative branch of student government, and that's our Student Senate. That constitutes the majority of students that are involved in student government, and so a student senator's role is really to represent the specific constituency that they're elected in. So we might have a senator from the College of Liberal Studies, and so their job is to represent students within that college. What are those issues that students in that college are facing? How can we address it here in the Senate?
So Jacob went on to say that at UWL, students are lucky to have a lot of say on the decisions that are made on campus. So Jacob and the student body vice president, Lauren Mason, meet with Chancellor Joe Gao regularly to talk about issues that matter to students, and then students help make some of the decisions that affect the university as a whole. So for instance, student leaders are recently involved, or were recently involved, in the selection of UWL's new vice chancellor for student affairs. Awesome. So if students are watching this and they're thinking, well, I really would love to be involved in that, and it sounds like a really cool job. How can students get involved in the Student Senate or Student Association in general?
Sure. We send out emails fairly often on involvement opportunities, whether there's a Student Senate spot that's open, or there's a cabinet position that's open, or in the spring, my position will be open, and so will Lauren's, who's the vice president. So they can definitely run for office there, or they can get appointed to office as well. And there are always committee spots that are open for students as well. So Student Senate has a committee structure, and then there are about 10 committees that are specifically only for students, and then there are others that students can be involved on as well. So if students just contact me or Lauren, there's usually somewhere we can get them involved in. Okay,
perfect. Finally, do you have anything else you want to add?
I would just say, and I'd encourage students to contact us if there are ever any issues that they have, because I know that there are a bunch of them, and we don't hear enough of them. And so I would love for students to be able to come to a Senate meeting and speak during an open forum, since we have that during the meetings, or email me or Lauren about any issues that they might have, because we would love to be able to take those on. And you know, as great as it is being able to have a position where you can pursue the issues that you think are important, ultimately there are over 10,000 other students on this campus, and I bet you that they have a whole host of issues as well that they'd like to address. And so if they can express those to us and they can feel comfortable expressing those issues to us, then that's just a great thing, and it makes me and Lauren, I know, feel like we can do our jobs even better.
Yeah, and I think some people think, you know, I have this issue, or you know, I really don't think this is right, or I want this to be changed, but they don't really know how, you know, who do they contact for that? Do they go right to the chancellor? Or maybe that may be a little intimidating, or you know, they think about these things, but you guys are the ones who want them to come to you, and you guys can make those changes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely, and I think that's a good thing, because the chancellor gets bombarded with a lot of emails, and you know, rightfully so. But oftentimes it's an easier solution to go and talk to your student representatives, student leaders, and you know, that's our jobs. We really work on that, and so if students feel comfortable about that and they know that we're there for them, then that's just a great thing, and we can get more things done.
Perfect. Well, thanks so much for sitting down with us today.
Thanks so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Jacob, and I hope you learned a little something about the Student Senate and maybe how you can get involved if you have any issues or things you want to bring up to the Student Senate and to Jacob, and just overall on campus. So have a great rest of your week, and we'll talk to you next week.